we can't address violence unless we are doing healing work on ourselves with each other. Healing justice frames in general and healing historical harms, and that's really where my book comes out of. So yeah, I really appreciate CJP for introducing me to healing justice, and the trauma healing is really at the core of what my work is today. My name is Amanda Catherine Gross. That's Catherine with a K. I use she, her pronouns. And I'm doing a lot of things these days. I just published a book, White Women Get Ready, How Healing Post-Traumatic Mistress Syndrome Leads to Anti-Racist Change. That came out in July. And then I'm also about to finish my dissertation in expressive arts. I came into CJP really curious about this intersection of arts and peace-building work. So I studied at CJP from 2010 until 2013. One of the highlights for me was I was invited to do an art show during my first semester here, and I did the show as an installation where I created this home that had images of warfare and violence embroidered and integrated into everything in the space. So on the pillows and the lampshades there was a tank. And on the hand towels, in the kitchen. And so I was really interested in how we make things that are invisible in a lot of ways, or things that we don't always notice, more visible. And then in that show, which was called Domesticated, there was a couple of actors who were living in the house. And so it was also a practice space for people to engage with and practice, how do we dialogue with someone who has a totally different worldview, right? So as someone who was coming to the exhibit, I could see the tank on the lampshade, but the actor who was living in the house couldn't see it, right? She couldn't see the way that violence and war was integrated into every system and institution of her life. And so one of the activities that we did as part of my practice course was for folks who would come in to get to engage with the people who lived in the home. And practice, how do we have these difficult conversations when we have totally different worldviews. So that was a highlight, and I think that is a really good example of my time at CJP, in that it gave me a lot of support and also a lot of freedom and autonomy to really make the coursework work for what I was interested in and fit the work that I wanted to do in the world. Hopes for new folks that are coming into Peacebuilding or students is that you take excellent care of yourselves and you take excellent care of each other, and the ways that you engage mirror the change that you want to see, right? So that includes really being compassionate with yourself as well.